Hi everyone, I'm Malak Fuad, and this is What I Did Next Encore. Today I'm reconnecting with a fan favorite, Mo Hefzy. He's the award-winning producer and head of Film Clinic. Since we last chatted in 2022, Mo Hefzy has had a successful run of releases, including Flight 404, Seeking Haven for Mr. Rambo, and Darwish, among many others.
Also, this year in Venice, I had two films, a Sudanese film that we shot in Egypt last year, and a Saudi film that was shot all across the kingdom, which actually won an award in Venice this year. It won the Netback Award for Best Asian Film at the Venice Film Festival, and it's going to go on to have a life hopefully in in cinemas and other festivals.
And are you still predominantly filming in Egypt? Is that still very much your base, or are you filming more in Saudi? I think last time we spoke, you were saying that was increasing at the time, that moving and working in Saudi was becoming a bigger thing.
True, and we did shoot another Saudi film in Jeddah at the beginning of this year that's now almost finished. Will probably premiere in festivals at the end of this year or beginning of next year, and it's going to be released second quarter of 2026. So that's also one that we really feel strongly about, because it's it's a dark romantic comedy, which is really rare in Saudi cinema, and it's got two great leads. Really, the chemistry between them is fantastic, and it's
And are these Saudi actors?
Saudi actors, full Saudi cast, Saudi story, director, writer. I mean,
That's amazing, Hefzy.
Only non-Saudi elements in this sort of production.
So you're like the what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? You're like the mentor and the old hand in that scenario, right?
Well, there's a couple of look, we're really excited about Saudi cinema. Yeah, there's a lot of talent, there's a lot of opportunities, a great enthusiasm in the country, a lot of support. And the audience is embracing Saudi films, and that's what's happening this year, is that we've noticed that traditionally it was Egyptian films that do well in the Saudi box office, as obviously the Hollywood blockbusters do really well, and then
sure
films do really well, and Saudi films were not doing as well. But now
right.
It's kind of shifting, where you look at the top performing Arab films of 2025 in the Saudi box office, and most of them are Saudi.
That's amazing.
It's flipping really quickly, and it's as an Egyptian filmmaker and producer, it's also concerning, because I think we also need to step up our game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you judge the health of the Egyptian cinema? I mean, as you said, Saudi is nipping at the heels of Egypt, and we're traditionally the Hollywood of the region.
Yeah.
What does this mean? How are we meeting this challenge? I mean, what's happening to address this?
It's I think a lot of it comes down to the quality of the films. And I think if you look at this summer, for example, I think it's been a little bit disappointing with in terms of the quality of the films, as opposed to maybe last year and the year before. So I think that we just need to step up our game when it comes to writing. Just to write better scripts, write better stories. The resources are there, the budgets, it comes down to writing, and it comes down to availability of also crew and talent, and our talent pool is not growing at the same rate as our as the demand on Egyptian productions. A lot of demand for Egyptian productions.
And why is that, Hefzy? I mean, aren't there young writers, young actors, young filmmakers coming up through the ranks?
Not enough. Not enough, no.
I think you guys need to do a Shark Tank for the cinema world.
Yeah.
And bring out this talent, find this talent.
It's really not enough. No, I think it's, and I think that's part of the problem. And there's a big, cycle of inflation happening in Egypt every year, every season almost. And it's not justified, because you can no longer say, because we have a devaluation of our currency. I mean, our currency hasn't been devaluating for the past maybe 18 months.
Yeah.
So it's and the rates are still going up. So I mean, is there a justification for that? I think it just comes down to demand. But demand on maybe if you have a big talent pool, there's only a handful of these in each department that everybody's trying to get, because they're the best. So that these guys could be making maybe 10, 15 productions at the same time. But the reality is that during the Ramadan season, there are 40 productions happening at the same time. And there's a lot of films, so we've got about 100 productions happening in Egypt throughout one year, and there's just not enough good talent to
So
support.
how do you resolve this problem? What
You
is
have
your take?
you have
What is
to
your
train
take?
and educate
Yeah,
a new talent. Really, that's what it comes
but
down to.
but we've been doing that for decades. I mean, we've had an industry going for at least a century. Why is there suddenly a drying up of this pool of talent?
I think that the numbers are going up a little bit, in terms of like the number of TV series and films, but also it's not just that; it's the demand on these talent from Saudi Arabia, so that a lot of the talents have migrated to Saudi Arabia to work there. And I'm not saying that they physically moved their life and their families to Saudi Arabia, but they're doing a lot of projects in Saudi. They're doing a lot of projects outside of Egypt, so it kind of left a gap. The surge in Saudi production is partly fueled by Egyptian talent.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Maybe not in front of the camera, but behind the camera. Assistant
yeah,
directors, cinematographers, directors, even writers, art directors or production designers. A lot of these people are going to work in Saudi projects, and they're leaving a gap.
yeah.
Uh, so I think partly that surge in demand doesn't come from inside Egypt; it comes also from, uh,
Yeah, of
Saudi
course.
Arabia. But we
And tell me, I'm very ignorant about this, but is there like a film school in Egypt? Can people go and learn the trade here somewhere?
Yeah, but there's such a huge waiting list,
What
on
what is the what is the what are the options for someone who wants to break into the industry?
unfortunately in Egypt, in terms of education, it's only the High Cinema Institute, uh,
Okay.
and it's it can only take on a certain number of people, and it's not as up to date as it was 50 years ago. I mean, the professors, the curriculum,
Yeah.
it's a school that obviously they're doing their best and they're educating a lot of people, but I think that it's not enough. I think that not more needs to be done in the talent development aspect of
I
our
I smell a gap. I see a gap here,
industry.
Hevzi.
There is no, there is,
Yeah.
and we're cooking something, but it's
Good.
going to take.
Good.
Yes, yes,
Because it's yeah, I mean, it's such we're so well known for this in the
yeah,
region and beyond that to lose this would be a real beyond a shame. I mean, it's a
yeah.
it's a huge industry.
It is. No, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah,
And it's going to keep going. Obviously, I mean,
yeah,
it's part of our DNA, but it just needs a certain level of investment in certain areas, including talent development, education, to be able to
yeah,
support the growth. And obviously, it's also. I hope the demand, will continue to be there because it's, with more streaming platforms coming on board and, the international streamers hopefully taking an interest in the region, which has been slow. You know,
yeah.
from Netflix, it's really been very slow. Amazon kind of came and dipped their feet and then pulled out again.
Right.
Streamers like Disney, they announced plans. They're going to come in and not only acquire content but also produce, and they didn't start yet. You've got people like Apple, you've got people like
Yeah. But
also.
Hevzi, I wonder whether the spotlight that's being shone now on Palestine and all that's happening from that perspective,
Yeah,
the streamers might now suddenly start waking up again and realizing that this is a massive
mm.
market.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of population, it's a massive market. I mean, we're talking about 350, maybe more, 4 million people, 400 million people that speak the same language. But first of all, they don't all consume the same content.
Yeah,
So, for example, a Moroccan or a Tunisian film or series may not be seen outside of Morocco or Tunisia, or an Algerian film, or even, the only languages, or let's say the only product that really travels is the Egyptian, which travels, and to a certain extent, Syrian dramas and Lebanese dramas are also seen throughout the Arab world, but also Kuwaiti dramas are consumed well in Kuwait and the GCC. And you've got a very strong market in Saudi Arabia where what is being produced in Saudi Arabia is at least being watched in Saudi Arabia, which is
Mm.
the biggest market for streaming in terms of
But
monetization.
I wonder why that is so, Hefzi, because you look at something like the Turkish melodramas and you look at the Korean,
Yeah,
which is the Korean series, which is a massive industry. All of these get consumed around the world
yeah.
just through subtitles or dubbing or whatever it is. Why can't that be translated into Tunisian dramas or Moroccan dramas?
Uh,
Or
um,
is it just that it's a cultural, people like to consume in the Middle East in Arabic and they want to see stories that reflect their own communities?
I think it's the three things. Let's say the choice of content that is being produced, the quality,
Yeah,
and marketing and distribution. You have these
yeah.
three that it took a long time for Turkey to be able to crack that, and they are now one of the biggest when it comes to the amount of revenue coming from exploitation internationally of their
Hmm. Hmm.
scripted content, mainly TV, because cinema they're not as active in being able to spread their films around the world. But but Korea, I mean, on the cinema front, I've got and the TV front. It took years of planning. It took years of perseverance and improvements in quality. And you've got huge companies like CJ Entertainment who are on par with the Hollywood studios almost when it comes to scale, size, resources.
Mm.
Um, and I think that you look at, for example, what's happening in Saudi Arabia, and I see some people there, and specifically someone like Turki Sheikh, who's always now in Hollywood or in London, trying
And
to put
just for our audience, he's also in charge of the Red Sea Film Festival, right?
no,
Is
no,
that
no,
not who?
no, no. There's no relation between.
Oh, who am I? Who is he then? Tell me who he is.
So he heads the entertainment sector in Saudi Arabia, but
I see.
Red Sea is part of culture. So you
I
got
see.
under the cultural minister, Prince Badr, and you've got
Yes.
entertainment, which is under His Excellency Turki Sheikh, who is practically Minister of Entertainment, which means that the general, uh, sorry, yeah, the GAA, General Entertainment Authority, and things like that. So, but you look at what they're doing, and they're engaging top talent from around the world, and in terms of behind the camera, people like just big directors, big actors,
Yes.
and it's
Yes.
cost a lot of money, but obviously, I think that will somehow. I think it'll help. I mean, it's
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the other side. You've got the also, yes, the Red Sea Film Festival is doing a great job, but it's just it's not. It's going to take a lot longer. It's going to take a lot
Yeah.
longer.
Yeah.
I think, Egypt has a real challenge ahead.
I want you to think back throughout your career, and
Yeah,
it could be personal, it could be professional. If you were to have to name or think back to one or two people that really influenced you, or you would consider like a mentor, who would they be?
my humble beginnings as a screenwriter. I think I learned a lot from the people I started with. Even I even Tarek Larian, who gave me my first shot. But obviously in or working a lot with international co-productions, I also learned a lot from my counterparts, European, French, German, UK producers that I worked with, and learned a lot about the international industry and how the international financing system works for film production, and some of the directors I've worked with. Been very lucky
Can you
to
name one or two people specifically that stand out for you?
a filmmaker who for me is one of the pioneers of independent cinema in Egypt, Ahmed Abdallah. I'm recently,
I think he's amazing. I have two of his photographs.
yeah,
Yeah, he's incredible.
someone like Amr Salama, who I've worked with over the years, someone like Marwan Hamid, who I've just worked with recently, and outside of Egypt, again, like it's been even in noticing that even in Jordan, there's some great Hollywood productions coming to Jordan to shoot.
Sure.
We're learning a lot from.
And what about on a personal level? I mean, are there people that you that you turn to when you're facing a conflict or a challenge, and you trust their judgment, or you know that they have your best interests at heart, or you like how they're living their lives and you admire that about them? Who would be that kind of person for you?
I'm the worst person when it comes to taking advice.
Really?
Listen to a lot of people, and then I just do what I want.
But that's fine. You're still hearing other opinions, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I don't really go and share my problems with people, even with friends. Which may be a mistake. I'm not used to going to friends and saying, "Look, I've got this issue, whether it's personal, whether it's professional. What do I do?" I somehow I always end up kind of making decisions.
So
Uh,
but when you're thinking about a problem, whatever it might be,
yeah,
do you sit with it for a while? Do you mull it
yeah,
over? Do you do it like a 360? Like, for example, my husband, Hatim, who you know well,
yeah,
he will look at an issue from such a
mm,
360 point of view, and he'll spend time analyzing it, and he won't rush to a decision.
yeah.
I'm the complete opposite. I'm very instinctive with things.
You
Where
know
are
what?
you on that?
I realize that sometimes when you just if you have the luxury of time, sometimes if you just let a problem just sit for a few days, sometimes the answer just comes to you.
Yeah,
Uh, Rushing to make a decision and find a solution. Some problems are very time sensitive, and you have to make quick decisions. But other times, there are things that you just can't control fully, and you just have to wait
yeah,
and think about it really well and hope that luck will be on your side. And sometimes things just resolve themselves. Something
that's
happens
true.
that that changes things, or just sometimes they don't get solved, and you just have to live with it. You have to live with the
Yeah.
problem. At some point you have to make a decision, and you have to hope also that people will be kind in how they resolve problems with you, how they resolve conflicts.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. If someone told you, okay, you're no longer going to be a filmmaker, you're no longer going to be working in your family business, and
mm.
if you had to choose another profession, what would you go for?
I would love to learn cooking, and spend a lot of time at home cooking, and I would have
Do you
loved to.
do that now? Do you cook at home?
I don't,
You
and I
enjoy it?
want to find time to learn. I also would love to learn um, sailing. I would love to spend a lot of time at sea. I would maybe have chosen also architecture as a profession if I wasn't a filmmaker. I think I love that space where engineering and art meet. And I think that the best minds, the best creative minds, sometimes come from an engineering background or a very structured background. And I think sometimes people find that weird. And I actually think it's completely normal that a creative
So
person
that
that
scientific side of you matching the artistic side, right?
I love that common ground. Yes. And I
Yeah.
think that that's very few people think about that. But I think that you can actually be a very scientific person, and at the same time extremely creative. I think there's no conflict in that somehow. Of
Yeah. I recently had on the show Farah Dibani, the opera singer.
course.
And while she was training to be a singer, while she was studying singing, she was studying equally architecture. So she was doing the two in parallel. And for her, there was just no conflict. The artistic side was there, but then so was this desire to be able to build
Yeah.
spaces, and so yeah, I don't see it as being uh, contradictory. I think they're very complementary.
Yeah.
Do you have a typical day, or is every day different?
Yeah, no, I do. It's only typical for so long because I travel a lot. So I have a
Yeah,
typical day when I'm in Cairo, which is not, which I would say is probably about 50% of my time, and the other 50% I'm traveling.
and when you're here, what is a typical day?
So let's say in the past 6 months, it's been wake up, maybe have some water or some juice, and do like a quick half-hour workout with. Usually, I'd be listening to like audiobooks or like I even have this app which is not just reading. It's not just like listening to audiobooks, but it's also kind of like condensing or compressing
Yeah,
in a lot of these books to be able to just
and
get
you're doing this at home?
I do this at home while I'm working
Yeah.
out, and then I shower and I have my breakfast, and I start my day typically around around 10:30, 11. So I'm not an early riser. I wake up at 9:30, um, which I know is very late. For most successful people, actually wake up at 6.
I think this is a myth, Hefzy. I mean,
Is it?
this, but
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, everyone loves to post about waking up at
yeah.
4, working out, and then, running back. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm an early riser, but I don't really do anything with it. I do a lot of reading of news and stuff like that. But
It's
this
great.
obsession with
Great.
proving that you're an early riser, I don't know. I don't know where it began.
No, but it's true that when you spend, let's say, those hours from like 8 until 10 just doing work that you need to do on your own and just focus on that, you don't have a lot of distractions before 10 p.m.
That's
Before
true. That's
10,
true.
I mean, before 10 a.m., really nobody's calling you, nobody's sending you messages. What happens though is that a lot of people send me messages that I wake up and see, like at 9 a.m. So
Does it distract you, or do you ignore them until you're done with your workout?
I forget them. I wake up my phone, I forget some of the messages that I've received, and then I go about my day, and then later I'll remember, I'll get a call.
Yeah,
So, so it's the worst thing to do is to check your messages
yeah,
as soon as you wake up because you
yeah.
forget them.
But I think, you get to an age where you know yourself. I mean, I do my best work in the morning when it's early and quiet,
Mm.
like you just said. But
Yeah.
some people are night people and they're better off in the evening. So you just have to figure out what works for you.
These days I get tired at night, after like 9, 10 p.m. I get a little tired, and it's hard to read, for example. And a lot of my day involves reading, right? I mean, not every day, but
Sure,
I read
sure.
an average of 1 or 2 scripts a week, and I would say two, and sometimes episodes of a TV series or something like that. And some of these are scripts that have come from other people that that we're considering, or they're scripts that are drafts of the script that the film or a project that we are intending to produce. So there's quite a bit of reading involved in my work, and maybe like a total of 5 hours a week. And if I well, sometimes even more, sometimes double that. And if I do that at night, it's very, very hard. So what I tend to do is I tend to put my reading on the weekends. I tend to do most of the reading on Saturdays. I try to take Friday off completely. Saturday, there's usually very few meetings, if any. So I'll just do some reading. I'll do some
Yeah.
catching up on
So
emails.
that's your like your research time, your quiet
Yeah,
time for work.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And the rest of the week, it's usually between the office and then we're doing meetings from outside or working at home in the evening. I mean, typically I'll be working from 11 till 8, and then I try to
And
find.
how do you divide up your time between the film clinic and other obligations like your family business?
Well, that takes very little time for me because I'm almost like a consultant. So I go once
Okay,
for like 3 4 hours, and then
right.
I'm
And
then
that's
I'm
where we're catching you today, right? That's where
yeah,
you are today.
but I'm not even
Yeah.
doing that. So
You're with me.
yeah, but it's quiet day. Quiet day.
Who do I
Uh,
call and tell them you're not really there?
well, my dad. That's I
Yeah,
hope
exactly.
I hope you won't be watching this.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Hevzi, for that. I'm going to switch now to this really fun, easy lightning
Sure.
round.
Okay.
So, theater release or streaming service?
Always theater release if I can. Yeah. Yes.
Good.
Always if I can.
Yeah. And I mean, generally, is there a return to that across the globe? I feel people want to reconnect in that sort of environment. Are people getting a bit sick of just consuming on streaming services?
The problem is there's fewer and fewer tent poles that cross the $1 billion mark these days.
Yeah.
Uh, you find a film like F1, and you see people kind of flocking to theaters, and it works, and have
And
that block.
Superman this summer did the same. Yeah.
Yeah, and but but we haven't really caught up to pre-COVID box office
Yeah.
figures. So I mean, if you look at last year, it was a pretty good year, but still 20% lower than 2019 when you talk about global box office. And I don't really know if it's ever going to go back to 2019 levels when you talk about global box office, because a lot of markets have shrunk. A lot of markets have not recovered as well, and there are
Yeah.
only very, very few markets in the world that are actually growing in terms of the theatrical market.
Yeah.
Arabia and the GCC, by the way, being one of them. So it's a fact. We're going to be
Yeah.
consuming a lot of
I
entertainment.
mean, just from seeing things in London, for example, cinemas are closing down and they're being repurposed into other buildings.
But you also have to look at, I mean, TV screens are getting bigger and better, and the streaming services are producing more and better content, and so
But
it's
are they producing better content, have they really? I don't know
uh,
about that.
correct. You're right.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm not really sure about that because
yes. Maybe I
I
take
mean,
it
I
back.
can spend an hour scrolling through different services looking for something I want to watch,
Yeah,
and I don't always find it.
true. But when okay, let's put it this way.
But
So
I think economics makes sense to just focus on streaming.
let's go back before streaming. What was happening, right? It was the theatrical market where you had maybe 300 films being released a year, and then or maybe 200 films being released a year, and then you had probably another 300 to 500 films, that were being put on DVD and sold on DVD,
Yeah,
which were mostly really poor films. Even
yeah,
even theatrical releases, you had maybe what, like 20 good films out of 200. So it's always been the same. I mean, the
yeah,
amount of good work that will come out is always a percentage of
yeah. The
come out.
formats change.
So
That's
the
all.
more you
Yeah,
produce, the more likely you're going to have good product, but it's still going to be the same percentage or a small
yeah,
percentage of what is being produced overall. So I think it's just the mediums are changing. You're no longer you're no longer looking at DVDs dead. TV is dying. It's streaming. So it's
yeah. Okay, let's go back to our lightning round. We got
sure.
diverted. Juggling many things at once or focusing on one thing at a time?
What I do is I juggle a lot of things, but what I'd like to do is to focus on one thing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's not easy to do.
not easy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Are you writing yourself again, or are you more on the, because that's how you started. I remember we
We,
spoke a lot about that in our first interview.
I haven't been writing recently. No, no, I haven't been.
Is that
Yeah.
something you're missing?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Have you got something in mind that you're contemplating?
Um, Several ideas, nothing really concrete yet. So I need to find time to really sharpen them before I start. So yeah.
That should be your Saturday project.
Well, it's not enough. I need more time.
You need more time. Can you take a sabbatical, or is that too difficult for
uh,
you?
I no, right now I can't. I mean, right now it's not really easy, but maybe in a year's time or something. So
How
I've got.
how would you make that a focus then? If how would you do that?
I'm trying to build the company in a way where it can run itself for a while, and with the team being in charge, and then being able to step away sometimes for to do my own thing, and to find my voice again creatively, to find my passion projects, to maybe prepare myself to direct a couple of projects. I think hopefully I will direct 3 4 films at some point before I go away. I think that's always been in the plan. So I'm never going to be a full-time director, but at some point I know that I have it in me to put something out there.
Don't
Yeah.
wait too long. Do it.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Just for all of it, writing, directing, just do
Right.
it. Okay, back to our this is not turning out to be a quick fire round at all. We're like parsing out each question into like subcategories. Red carpet premiere or cozy night in?
Cozy night in is much less stressful.
And are you
Yeah,
doing more of that, or are you doing? Well,
I am.
actually, you've got award season coming up. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got a lot of festivals coming up.
what's your favorite activity?
Two things. I think, first of all, um, you know, I I like to taking breaks with friends where I just shut my phone, traveling, and the second is just going to the movies alone at 11 in the morning or 12, when there's nobody in the theater. Yeah,
Why do you like to do that when it's quiet?
because in Egypt, the audience is not as respectful of the cinema going experience. So when it's a crowded screening, you get a lot of people talking and phone calls and stuff like that. So I also enjoy watching films in the morning. So sometimes at film festivals, I go to a 9 a.m. screening or something, and it's really nice. You're fresh, you're
Yeah,
concentrated.
Yeah, yeah. What's your least favorite activity?
Being on set. I mean, I really, I don't. It's like in terms of work, it's just not. I don't find that's the most pleasurable part of making a film. And
Why?
also being stuck in traffic or driving in traffic is my least favorite.
But why is being on set difficult? Is it because it's chaotic and it's just very hectic?
No, because as a producer, if you've done your job right, you really don't have all that much to do on set. And I don't, it's just looking over a director's shoulder and making sure they're doing everything the way you expect them to is not comfortable for a director. Also,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
so it's I mean I do go to set. I just don't go to set every day for the full day. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And then traffic in Cairo obviously is
traffic anywhere.
anywhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
anywhere. That's true. That's true.
So,
Um, okay, finish this sentence. I have a hard time.
um, I have a hard time dealing with stubborn stupidity and lack of um, acceptance of that there may be other truths out there, that there may be other opinions, that there may be other beliefs. I think for me, just seeing social media, how it has become, people have become so didactic and like believing that they are right and that everybody else is,
Mhm.
just,
So a dislike of a lack of tolerance. Would that be fair to
yeah.
say?
Look at what's happening in America, and I think America is
Yeah.
becoming divided, for example. And I think Egypt is, the Arab world is the same. It's just there's more division and lack of tolerance and lack of acceptance of an alternative opinion, an alternative
Mhm.
thought. And I think that's becoming very, very annoying to me and to a lot of people. And I think that's where a lot of our problems come from.
Yeah.
Uh, just lack of empathy.
Yeah. I agree. Okay, last one. I get joy from.
I have a new pet, uh,
No way. What do you have?
female husky. She's 3 months old and she's lovely. I get a joy from her a lot, and a lot of
Amazing.
fight. Well, but that's fine.
So you
Yeah.
walk her, you're active with her, you're doing all that
Not enough.
stuff?
I'm trying
Yeah.
to, but she's
Yeah.
really good friends now with the guys who work at home. So
That's amazing. But a pet is incredible, by the way. It
yeah,
completely
exactly.
changes
Yeah,
everything. We have two. They're
true.
great. We have two dogs.
Amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love that.
Always a pleasure. Good luck, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
talk again when it's 200 episodes.
Thanks for joining me today. I'm Malak Fuad, and this show has been produced by Chirag Desai. Join me again in 2 weeks' time, where I'll be sitting down with Soraya Ismail. See you then.